Okay, this is about to get a whole lot more exciting because we're going to be talking about two different elements here. One is called checkboxes, the other is radio buttons. And if you're not sure what the difference is, I'm going to show you right here. And I'll say maybe just below that text area there, let's go ahead and just put like a paragraph tag around here. That way it should bump the text area down onto its own line. And I'll do the same thing here. Not necessary, but again, just for what we're doing, I'm going to go ahead and do it. All right, I'm going to save that. I just want to see what this looks like right up here. Okay, so now we got our things on two different lines up here. Makes our page look a little bit cleaner. Now, after that, let's go ahead and do a checkbox. Now, a checkbox is used for allowing someone to add multiple inputs at once. If this were a true and false question you were asking, a checkbox is not what you would like. A checkbox is used for which of these colors do you like, and you can add multiple inputs in there. So maybe if I wanted to say, again, how many of these colors do you like? Red, blue, yellow, green. Maybe if I wanted to put all of them, I could check all those boxes, or I could check none of them, or just check one of them. It doesn't really matter. You can check as many as you want to. So that's the use for the checkbox. So let's go ahead and find checkbox on our side here. And what's nice about Dreamweaver is it actually gives you two different options here. You can add just a single checkbox. Maybe this is for subscribing to your newsletter, or an area where you would just have just the one checkbox as basically a yes or no kind of question. Whereas a checkbox group is what we just talked about, where there would be the multiple inputs. So I'm going to go ahead and say checkbox group, and I can add all my different options in here. So we can name this group whatever we want to, and we can label it as, let's say, what are my favorite fruits? Apple. And the value we would then pass along to the form would be apple. We could also say banana. And let's go ahead and add one more option here. Let's say orange. Orange, you glad we're almost done with this class? Alright, okay. And you'll see, because Dreamweaver is so nice, it went ahead and added these inputs into here. So if you were paying attention, you should notice that input is actually something we already used up here, but we've changed the type of that input to checkbox. So now this has become an input not just for text, but a type, not text, but checkbox. Now this is all part of the same group, and the value should be given apple, orange, banana, and should be labeled as apple, banana, orange. So if I hit save and I come back to my web page up here and hit refresh, you can see I've got apple, banana, and orange. And just like I said, you can make multiple choices here. This is not for a true and false type of question. This is for add as many of these options as you wish. Now the other option, oops, looks like I got an extra checkbox up there. I must have done that by mistake. I'm just going to delete that. Actually, let's save it. Just make sure I did that correctly. Yep. Okay, so that one checkbox went away. So now I've just got my 3 up here. So the other option that we just got done talking about were the radio buttons. And these are the little disc button kind of icons that are used for a true and false, yes or no type of question. So I'm going to go ahead and hit a couple returns and again come back over to Dreamweaver's sidebar cheat sheet area, and just like with the checkbox, I can add one radio button or I can add the entire group. So I'm going to say group again just like I did last time. This one will be given radio group label, and let's just say true, value, true, or option false. Actually, and I'll hit save and come back to here and hit refresh and just test it out. And you can see that I can only choose one of those two options right there. So let's take a look at the code and what Dreamweaver put in here for me. And if you're using brackets or Sublime, there are a lot of these same kind of little cheat sheet insert areas like I'm using. You just need to add maybe an extension for it. So don't feel left out. Don't feel like you have to use Dreamweaver. Again, this is just saving some time for me. So we looked at the input. We saw that in the very first one up here where the input type was text. And then we added the checkboxes. Again, input, the type was checkbox. And because this is another input as well, this starts with input and the type is radio. Because they're part of the same group right here, it's only allowing me to make one option, one check from that group. And then the value is true, true, or false. Now, if I were to change this to radio group 1 and radio group 2, I would be able to check both of those boxes or click both of those buttons there. But because they're part of the same group, I cannot do that, which is perfect. I do not want people to be able to make both options. So again, we've seen our different options up here. We've got the input box, the text area, the check boxes, and the radio button. One more option to go.